Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar, the man who weighed the stars, 1910 to 1995. It was 1930, a young Indian student sat on a ship bound for England. The ocean roared, but he was silent, bent over a notebook filled with equations. In his heart, he carried a question as vast as the universe. How do stars die? His name was Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar, and before he turned 20, he would discover one of the most profound truths in astrophysics, a truth so unsettling it would take the world decades to believe. Born in 1910 in Lahore, then British India, Chandrasekhar grew up in a family that loved learning. His father was a civil servant, his mother, a poet who read him stories of science and gods. To young Chandra, the night sky was both scripture and equation. He studied physics at the University of Madras, then earned a scholarship to Cambridge. On the long voyage from India, armed with only a slide rule and curiosity, he began calculating the fate of dying stars. Using Einstein's theory of relativity, he found something shocking, that when a star burns all its fuel, gravity crushes it inward. If the remaining mass is less than 1.4 times that of our Sun, it becomes a white dwarf. But if it's heavier, it collapses endlessly. He had discovered what is now called the Chandrasekhar limit, the cosmic threshold between light and oblivion. When he presented his theory at a scientific conference in 1935, the reaction was explosive. The great British astronomer Sir Arthur Eddington, once his mentor, stood and publicly mocked him. He declared, "There should be no such stars. Nature will find a way to avoid this absurdity." The audience laughed. Chandrasekhar, humiliated but calm, sat down. He never argued, he simply kept working. Years later, when black holes were finally confirmed, Eddington's absurdity became truth. Chandra had been right all along. He moved to the University of Chicago, where he built a legacy of brilliance and grace. He studied the structure of stars, the stability of galaxies, the flow of light through matter, each discovery a piece of the cosmic puzzle. He published paper after paper, book after book, written in elegant prose as if the universe itself were poetry. He mentored generations of scientists, patient, humble, endlessly curious. When asked what drove him, he said simply, "Beauty is the first test. There is no permanent place in the world for ugly mathematics." In 1983, 50 years after his humiliation, Chandrasekhar received the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on the structure and evolution of stars. The universe had come full circle. But fame never touched him. He still walked to his office every morning, coat neatly pressed, equations in hand, eyes turned upward. He died in 1995, at 84, serene, luminous, unshaken. Today, his name lives in the stars themselves. The Chandra X-ray Observatory, orbiting Earth, continues to watch the heavens he once measured. He was the man who proved that even light has limits. And that within those limits, there is infinite wonder. Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar, the man who weighed the stars.